Hi, I'm Kimberly Calderbank. When I started Community Cultures, it was a way to shine a spotlight on the little groups of fellowship that are created when our community gathers to support and celebrate one another. Now, in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis, we'll shift our focus to supporting our friends and neighbors, small businesses making challenging pivots, not-for-profits and charities that are going above and beyond to ensure our community stays humming, and of course, the small grassroots organizations that are keeping us together when we're physically apart. This is Community Cultures Hospitality Heroes Edition. Peter, thank you very much for taking the time to join me today and talk about the pivots that your business has made throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. First of all, I wanted to have you tell me a little bit about what business looked like at J&G Meats before all of this transition happened.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me. Business before, you had your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that were your prep days. We were always open for retail, and then you amped up for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which would have been your bigger days. Now every day is a big day. It's like a lot of the guys in the industry have said it's like Christmas all week long. So, yeah.
And you're a staple business, J&G Meats in Aldershot. How long have you been located in Aldershot?
Since 1962. I haven't owned it. I haven't been alive that long, but I'm the third owner since 1962. And it's a staple here. You're right.
So since the pandemic was introduced, I know you've had to make some business pivots and you've had to make some changes. You've always been a very high-end gourmet butcher shop. What else have you added to your business portfolio now?
We brought along produce about a year ago now, I would say, and milk about a year ago as well. We use the produce from Agro Produce here in Aldershot. Dairy comes from Sheldon Creek. It's a small dairy. It's all glass bottles, produced by them. So that's kind of a specialty item as well. And then breads from Pan del Sol Bakery in Hamilton. So those things we've already had. We didn't change. We didn't, maybe bringing in a little bit more right now than we did before the pandemic.
And now you've also added a curbside pickup component. Can you talk me through what that looked like and how you decided to come up with that idea, how the in and outs of your business have changed?
Okay, yep. So when the pandemic first came about, I was hesitant to go that way. A friend of mine up in Peterborough, George, at Primal Cuts, went right away to curbside. And we limited for a while. We put up some plexiglass screens and we limited the people to 2 people in the store at a time, 2 customers, and to try to keep the physical distance, of at least 6 feet. And then it was just after Easter, we thought, okay, we better just go curbside. So I called George, asked George, I said, how does it work, right? So basically we're doing it phone in. A lot of people have gone, online orders, that kind of stuff. But I like to still be able to talk to the person over the phone. So you call us, you place your order. Basically, it's for next day. We call you when it's all done, and you come out, pick it up. We have a portable point of sale machine. We bring that out, and you can tap your card, and there's nobody touching anything. So it's all good.
I know I personally ordered my Easter turkey for my family over the phone this year and had a seamless pickup and delivery program. I called in my credit card in advance and it was just dropped right into my trunk. So it was an absolutely seamless. So it seems that you've really figured out that process. So good for you on that one.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, we hear a lot about grocers not necessarily being able to access the same amount of varietals they have previously. From a butcher perspective and the fresh fruit and vegetables, there was always this uproar or concern that we would be shorted out on these type of produce. What are you seeing from a perspective of ordering things into your business?
There's not really a shortage at this time. They just announced the closing of the plants out west, right? So we'll see what happens there. But if something does happen, it'll be a few weeks out. And I think we're all trying to prepare in different ways to combat that, right? The big thing I would think is the prices of the good stuff have gone up, right? So we sell all prime beef at my store, and the prices are all up. Now, we have not raised our prices. I had a gentleman call this morning about is that COVID pricing? We haven't changed our prices in over a year. So, we're going to try to keep them the same. I realize people are out of work. And so we're just going to try to stick with the way everything is. But as far as a shortage, I haven't seen it yet. I know when it first happened, all of a sudden it was like a light switch, and no one was prepared for that, right? So I mean, everybody's counter was bare. But since then, we've all kind of changed as business has changed.
And speaking of layoffs and things like that, how is your team? How is your workers that are in and out every day? How are you are you still full staff? And how is that working with keeping people 6 feet apart and of course masks and all of that good stuff? What type of precautions are you taking or having to take as a business?
So we did hire two new people because of being so busy. And we have 2 employees that do not drive. So one of my other employees goes and picks them up in the morning, brings them so they don't have to take public transit. We can social distance the best we can. We have 4 stations in the back for cutting, so that we're basically 6 feet apart. Difficult, but it's manageable. And then up at the front, there again, 3 wrapping stations. So hopefully we're doing our best. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but we're doing our best. And then as far as PPE, we do have the masks. You're constantly washing your hands, sanitizing your hands. We actually even had a customer drop off some rubber gloves just in case we were running low. He had an extra box and brought them in with him. So that was kind of nice.
One of the things that Community Cultures is all about for me is the partnerships that are created within the community. So you've just talked about a customer dropping off gloves. What other partnerships have you seen? What other friends and neighbors have reached out to you in support? How are you seeing that all come together from a neighborly perspective?
You know what? We deal with Jackie at the Platter Company a lot next door. Jackie's been a trooper through this. I mean, if anyone's had to adjust, we didn't really have to adjust as much as other businesses, but she was like a trooper with changing her business model, basically to help her customers, right? So that's great to see. Flower Child Bakery just down the street from us, and Turtle Doves Bakery. I mean, they are all everyone's reaching out to the next person and saying, hey, how are you guys doing? Do you need anything? Are you short anything? Can we help in any way? And we've done that as well, right? So it's you really see how much of a family it is with small business. How much they appreciate each other and try to help each other.
And just in closing, Peter, can you share with me maybe one story of a client or something somebody has said that really put, that positive sort of feel-good moment for you that'll be a memory when we're, into our new normal, something just a warm fuzzy to wrap it up for us, Peter?
You know what? We have one older couple that they are amazing at the best of times, but even in the worst of times, the man just about broke down in tears, saying thank you so much for being here, and that this was difficult for them because they couldn't see their family over the holidays. And just that kind of, and it was from more than just him. Like, I mean, so many people said thanks for being open, thanks for this, thanks for that we didn't have to wait 2 weeks to get an order. I mean, all that kind of stuff, right? So that goes a long way, and I think the relationship with those customers will be long lasting. That's for sure.
Well, thank you, Peter, for your time, and thank you for the hard work that I know you and your team are putting into this every day. You certainly are keeping that sense of normalcy for us and being able to get the product and the products that we need. And I appreciate your time. I know you're busy, so thank you very much, Peter.
Thanks, Kim.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you very much for joining me today from the Platter Company. I appreciate your time. I know we're all very busy right now. I wanted to have you start off by telling me just a little bit about your business before COVID-19 and what your business platform was before the new change.
Big change. So thank you very much for having me and giving me the opportunity as well, Kimberly. Pleasure to be here. Before COVID-19, my business specialized in gourmet food platters. We were entering into our busiest time of our Christmas with graduations, weddings, showers, end of the year thank yous with schools, all those types of things. And we had bookings up until July. Then COVID hit and everything changed. So catering, I mean, the phone was ringing, but it was all with cancellations for us, and it was a really scary time for that.
So I know you're well known for your gourmet platters. I know you're very supportive of the community, and I've seen you at events always locally, always supportive wherever you can be. You also have a really amazing green component to everything you do. Can you talk to me a little bit about the green component that your business does?
With our platters?
Yes.
Absolutely. So our platters are 100% recyclable, reusable. What we wrap them in is also recyclable. We wrap them with twine, so that's recyclable as well. Our parchment paper that we use is also recyclable or can go into the green bin too. Any disposable cutlery that we use is again sugar cane, so that can go in the green bin or the blue bin as well. So we're proud of that.
You have this really cool business platform. You're expanding. You're doing so well in the business. I know it's been almost, how many years has it been now, Jackie?
Well, I've been doing the platter company for just over 5 years, and we've had the bricks and mortar for just over 3 years now in Aldershot.
So you've got this great thing going on in Aldershot, business is doing well, and all of a sudden we are hit with COVID-19 and we need to pivot in order to stay open. So I know you've made some changes with your staffing, you've made some changes with your bricks and mortar experience. Talk to me a little bit about what that's been like.
Sure, pivot we did, and pivot we needed to do. So when it first hit, and as I was mentioning, we saw the signs that the tumbleweeds were coming, phone was ringing, cancellations. At first, it was obviously for everybody out there, but especially in the restaurant and food industry community, it's really difficult. Our margins are low to begin with too, right? We have these bookings, and it was a scary time of, do we shut the doors? I had to let my front of house go, my weekend part-time staff go, our delivery drivers, they had to go too. My full-time staff, we kind of looked at each other and thought, uh-oh, what are we gonna do now? Do we shut? Do we keep going? We had a real moment of, again, as we all have, what do? We decided to pick ourselves up and say, listen, we're not ready to give in. We're not shutting the door right now. Our business can be an essential service now. Let's pivot and just do prepared meals. We can tap into our creativity, our gourmet. I mean, we cook. We cook. So why don't we cook and create more of our meals and see how that goes? So we tackled social media. We went out there like I've never before done that. It's been an incredible journey. It really has. It seems like it's been forever right now, but really we're looking at a span of just a few weeks, really, when we look at it. Support from the community, the support from our previous clients of platters were saying, how can we help? Friends were sharing posts. I mean, everybody really rallied together. The community that I'm in here in Aldershot has been amazing. And through that, it's lifted us up, really. I've been humbled by it as well. And it's been exciting at the same time. It's a hard thing to say, I know, with COVID and all the tragedy and scariness with it. Believe me, it's been scary for me too. But a lot of good has come out of it for us as well, and the direction that we're doing and the people that we're helping feed too, and to keep our doors open.
So tell me about the way the platters come now, the frozen food. How are your meals? I know you're doing an amazing job on social media sharing all that. So what are the meals? What are you doing?
So as you know, platters are done. So catering is on hold for now. So we pivoted with our aluminum pans, which are also recyclable too and reusable. So we have quarter-size pans now that can feed 2 to 3 people. We've got family-size pans that feed 4 to 6 people. We're offering salads, appetizers, meals, so fresh meals of the day. So we're also trying to keep it fresh. So we've got our tried and true in our frozen section, so you can come in, grab and go anytime for different sizes of family needs. And then we're trying to keep it, as I just said, fresh. So Tuesdays to Saturdays, we're offering a fresh meal. So for example, today we've got chicken marsala with fresh pasta and Caesar salad for 2. So we're trying that as well.
Now, if you are a fan of pulled chicken, Jackie is the lady to go to for pulled chicken. It's incredible and it's a family favorite. Everybody in the house likes it. You were talking about the partnerships, and one of the big things about community cultures for me are all those little pockets of fellowship and the partnerships that are created. And we always see in times of crisis or in times of need, folks really come together and really band together. Can you share some of those partnership stories with us?
Absolutely. So right now I'm working with the Art House here in Burlington that are helping feed people in need. So we're providing meals every Wednesday for them as well to go out into the community and feed them. Funnily enough, I got a text message today from a couple within my community too, asking how they can help. They would like to sponsor $500, $1,000 to a charity or someone that I would know personally in need. So we're communicating with each other right now to see where that is best served, because everybody's coming out right now and they're trying their best, which is incredible, to see where they can help. So I'm getting calls quite a lot right now of how they can send money, food packages, gifts to front lines, to people who are really desperate for things right now. So we're very pleased and proud to be a part of that initiative too.
Now, just to wrap things up, I want to leave on a positive note always. And one of the biggest things that we always talk about with each other is the lessons learned. And, you know, sometimes we go through things, but we always come out on the other side with lessons learned or sort of more of a positive, brighter outlook. So what lessons have you learned and how will you put those into your business model moving forward in the new normal?
I think that's a great question. Very good question. I think the big lesson for me that I have learned is that community, how important community is to me. I think I've been so busy myself as a business owner trying to be within my own bubble, trying to make things work, becoming complacent with what I'm doing, that I hadn't really appreciated how important community is to me and to people out there. So the big takeaway for me is that I live in a wonderful spot, which I did know that, but I didn't realize how important that was for people and for me as well, that I need them just as much as they need me, if that makes sense.
I think that's incredible. And I certainly, like I said, you can see how the community comes together, especially when we meet each other. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that if the business that you're seeing now is any indication of the branding opportunities and the new faces and friends and neighbors that you can make through this, I think that you definitely are in an amazing spot to move forward.
Thank you so very much. We're pretty happy about it. We're excited about the future. We're excited about blending and hybriding the platters and now the gourmet meals and becoming a gourmet market. So we're very excited. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jackie. I know you're busy. I really appreciate your time, and we're wishing you all the best moving forward. And of course, as we come out on the other side.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, Damien. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Damien is with Nouveau Taste, and I'd love for you to tell me a little bit about, well, first of all, you have an incredible title, so you must share your title with us. But then tell me a little bit about your business before COVID and what your business model looked like before.
Okay. So as you said, my name is Damien. I'm the Director of Culinary Experiences and Food Culture here at Nouveau Network, and specifically with Nouveau Taste. So prior to COVID, we were a fully functioning catering business. We provided in-house catering to all the events that occurred here at Nouveau, as well as some external clients. We do all exclusively the food for Detour YHM at the John C. Munro Airport. We also do some private catering for very large, high-profile clients in the GTA. I have to keep it a secret, but it was a very big piece of our business.
Right.
And so, as well as some other smaller events, external events throughout the Halton region and Hamilton region. And then the world changed, and overnight, darn near 100% of our business completely disappeared. Mm-hmm. So it was quite an event on the night when I started to see the impacts that were coming through to the clients we had booked. A lot for our external clients, and then seeing the impact at the airport when that business started to slow down, and really we all felt the impact quite greatly.
So talk to me about the shift, Damien. Obviously, it hit everybody hard, especially in the hospitality world, especially with those cancellations. So what does that look like from a pivot perspective? I know that the majority of your sort of catering opportunities would be canceled or postponed. So what do you get to work doing right away?
So right away, I mean, the first thing we did is, as I saw things progressing, we started an online restaurant version of what we did. The goal was to try and keep my staff and myself employed and keep us off EI as best as we could. So the pivot was, what can we do right away? So one of the things we were able to do is take our menus and kind of adjust them a bit to do an online through mobile app ordering. As it turned out, that wasn't very fruitful for us. And as things progressed very quickly, I have to say, things were progressing almost hourly in terms of how we were able to pivot. We'd spent a long time over the past year developing a lot of great community relationships with the food that we were presenting to people. And so we quickly were approached by several different organizations throughout Halton to help them out. And that's kind of where the pivot came for us, is we had a team, we were very good at what we did, and we were able to jump in, and based on those relationships that we reached out to some of them, and some of them reached out to us to partner with to provide food for different organizations. So we were able to quickly develop a soup program with Foods for Life, and we've been providing them several thousand liters of soup per week that we're producing here. We were also, based on our relationships with Halton Region, we were able to provide catering to the frontline nurses that were working the COVID call centers. So that was at 2 locations, and that changed to 1 location. And we handled all the logistics on that, and we're able to deliver nourishing meals that you know, I got and text messages back from a lot of the public health nurses saying not only were we feeding them and filling their bellies, but we were filling their souls. And it was really magical to see the positive impact that good food had on helping these people out. They were working 12-hour shifts, you know, not getting to see their families, and it was really, really rewarding for us to be able to help provide that to them.
So that's one of the things that, to me, Community Cultures is all about, is obviously the connections and the fellowship that happens within our community. It's not surprising that it exists. We always know it's been there, obviously, but I want to talk a little bit more about those partnerships. I know the Good Soup Project, specifically with Food for Life. Food for Life is providing you the food, and then your kitchen staff is churning out thousands of liters of soup on a regular basis. I know you've also had one of your partners come in and loan a fridge, that type of thing. Can you talk to me a little bit more about what that partnership means to you? Feeding the soul is an excellent way of putting it. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, this was a great project, and we were very pleased to be involved in it. They get a lot of food donations, and I think part of their struggle is sometimes, you know, it's hard to distribute 50 pounds of carrots and 50 pounds of celery. What is a home user going to typically do with that? And I think that's where we were able to excel for this, is we were able to come up with ideas of turning whatever it was that they were able to provide into a good soup. And that's where the skill of our team came in. So it meant a lot to us that we could take this food that may have otherwise gone to waste from the different channels that they bring it in through, and we turned it into something that will help a family that's in need right now. And that to us was super important and super rewarding. It was great to see my team as they got involved in it, and then to see the scale of it. You know, you have thousands of liters being packaged at once, and it was impactful. I mean, when I saw it, I shed a tear, because I knew that each one of those soups were going to someone who really needed it right now. And it was, so that was the reward, knowing that it was going to a great purpose. Impact
is a great word, Damien, that you just used. And after COVID-19, I mean, there will be a new normal. And as businesses are pivoting, there's always lessons learned and the impact that's left on both your business as well as your team. What sort of things do you think you'll take forward from this impact and from this pivot moving forward into your new business model? Well, I think one thing that our industry needs is, and this is highlighted, is the importance and the value of our employees. It's
such a vulnerable industry, and I've seen so many of my colleagues right now be displaced, almost disposably displaced because of the situation. A lot of people aren't off work, but a lot of the people in my industry are. And, you know, through the conversations I've had with other industry partners, whether that's La Di Da Sauces and a few other organizations that we're working with, we all feel a sense that we need to come back out of this. And hopefully the message is that there's a much bigger needed value placed on some of our vulnerable employees. And, you know, taking care of them and keeping them employed and rejigging our value proposition around food. I think everyone became acutely aware of the importance of grocery store workers and even just line cooks and dishwashers in a restaurant. And I'd like that to continue where we come out of this and recognize and appreciate the value that they offer to our society through the work that they do, but also their value to the economy. I think it's super important that we maybe relook at how we value the food we eat from farm all the way through to table. So I think that's a big takeaway for me, that I want to continue that as we come out of this. The new relationships that we've made with some of our partners, those will continue. And I think this just laid the groundwork for growing those community relationships. We've all come together in the background to do certain different things, and they'll be successful, not monetarily wise right now, because that's not important, but coming through it at the end, there's going to be a lot of lessons we can take away from it.
And I think that's just the point to end on, really, Damien, is the amount of positive that can come out of something when we all go through it together. You know, we keep hearing all in this together, and you've just exemplified that we certainly are, and that there's a positive side. The lessons are learned, and we'll come out of this on a better end. So thank you very much, Damien, for your time. I know that we're all very busy, and I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors, and as we come out into the new normal. Thank you, Damien.
Thanks very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. We've seen some amazing examples through this episode of how businesses are making that shift and making that pivot to be able to stay open, help their staff, help their community. And one of the biggest takeaways for me from today's episode was feeding our souls, and how all of that community connectivity and that reaching out and the support, it's an incredible thing. Thank you.
you.